Do you ever feel like you're drowning in a sea of to-do lists? You've got work deadlines, family commitments, personal goals, and a million little things all screaming for your attention. It's overwhelming, right? You work all day, but at the end of it, you feel like you haven't accomplished anything truly important. If this sounds familiar, you are not alone, and I have a solution that might just change your life. It's a simple, yet incredibly powerful tool called the Eisenhower Matrix. Now, you might be thinking, Eisenhower? The president? Yes, exactly. Dwight D. Eisenhower, the 34th President of the United States, was a master of productivity. Before becoming president, he was a 5-star general in the army and served as the supreme commander of the Allied Expeditionary Force in Europe during World War II. The man knew a thing or two about making high-stakes decisions and managing his time effectively. He once famously said, "I have two kinds of problems, the urgent and the important. The urgent are not important, and the important are never urgent." This single insight is the foundation of the entire system. So what is this magical matrix? Imagine a simple square divided into 4 quadrants. The horizontal axis goes from urgent to not urgent, and the vertical axis goes from important to not important. This creates 4 boxes that will help you categorize every single task on your plate. Let's break down each quadrant one by one. First up, we have quadrant 1, urgent and important. This is the do it now box. These are the crises, the pressing problems, the tasks with immediate deadlines that have serious consequences if you don't handle them. Think of a major project deadline that's due tomorrow, a crying baby, or a kitchen fire. These are tasks that demand your immediate attention. You can't ignore them. The goal, however, isn't to live in this quadrant. If you're constantly putting out fires, you're in a reactive state, which leads to stress and burnout. We want to spend as little time here as possible by planning ahead, which brings us to our next quadrant. Next, we move to quadrant 2, important but not urgent. This is the golden quadrant, the decide when to do it box. This is where true productivity and success are born. These are the tasks that contribute to your long-term goals, your values, and your personal growth. Things like strategic planning, building relationships, learning a new skill, exercising, or planning for your future. These tasks are easy to put off because they don't have a screaming deadline. No one is going to yell at you if you don't go to the gym today. But consistently investing time in quadrant 2 is what separates the highly effective from the merely busy. By focusing here, you proactively handle things before they become urgent crises. You're not just reacting. You're creating the future you want. Now for quadrant 3, urgent but not important. This is the delegated box. This quadrant is tricky, and it's the biggest source of deception in our daily lives. These tasks feel important because they are time-sensitive, but they don't actually move you closer to your goals. Think of many emails, some phone calls, interruptions from colleagues asking for a quick favor, or attending meetings that aren't relevant to your core responsibilities. They scream for your attention, making you feel productive, but in reality, you're just servicing someone else's priorities. The key here is to learn to say no, to delegate, or to find more efficient ways to handle these interruptions without derailing your focus on what is truly important. Finally, we have quadrant 4, not urgent and not important. This is the deleted box. These are the time wasters, the distractions, the mindless activities that offer no real value. We're talking about endlessly scrolling through social media, binge-watching shows you don't even like that much, or engaging in trivial gossip. These activities should be eliminated or minimized as much as possible. Of course, everyone needs some downtime to relax and recharge, but it's crucial to be mindful of how much time you're spending in this quadrant. It's the black hole of productivity. So, how do you actually use this in your day-to-day life? It's simple. At the start of each day or week, take your entire to-do list and sort every single item into one of the 4 quadrants. Be honest with yourself. Is reading every single news alert truly important, or is it just urgent in the moment? Is planning your goals for the next quarter important, even if it's not due right now? Let's walk through a practical example. Your to-do list for today might look like this. Finish the presentation for tomorrow's meeting. Answer 50 emails. Plan your daughter's birthday party for next month. Scroll through Instagram and schedule your annual doctor's appointment. Let's categorize them. Finish the presentation for tomorrow's meeting is clearly quadrant 1, urgent and important. Do it now. Answer 50 emails likely falls into quadrant 3, urgent but not important. Many of them can be delegated, automated with a template, or simply answered later. Plan your daughter's birthday party is quadrant 2, important but not urgent. You need to schedule time for this, but it doesn't have to be right this second. Scroll through Instagram is a classic quadrant 4, not urgent and not important. Delete it, or at least limit it. And schedule your annual doctor's appointment. That's a perfect quadrant 2 task. It's important for your long-term health, but not urgent. You should schedule a specific time to do it. Once you have your tasks sorted, your path becomes clear. Tackle quadrant 1 first to get the crises under control. Then, and this is the most important part, dedicate the largest, most focused blocks of your time to quadrant 2. This is your proactive time. Fit in quadrant 3 tasks where you can, but be ruthless about delegating or minimizing them. And as for quadrant 4, just say no. The real magic of the Eisenhower Matrix isn't just about sorting tasks. It's about a fundamental shift in mindset. It forces you to distinguish between being busy and being effective. It trains you to think strategically about your time, which is your most valuable, non-renewable resource. By consistently focusing on what's important, not just what's urgent, you'll find that you have fewer fires to put out. Your quadrant 1 will naturally shrink because you're handling things in quadrant 2 before they become emergencies. This leads to less stress, a greater sense of control, and a feeling of genuine accomplishment. You'll end your days knowing you move the needle on things that truly matter to you. You're no longer a slave to your inbox or the constant interruptions of the day. You are the commander of your own time. Getting started is the easiest part. You don't need fancy software. All you need is a piece of paper and a pen. Draw your 4 quadrants. Take 10 minutes right now or at the end of your day to empty your brain onto that paper. List everything you feel you need to do, big or small. Then start sorting. You'll be amazed at the clarity this simple exercise provides. Make it a daily or weekly habit. The more you use the matrix, the more intuitive it becomes. You'll start to automatically categorize tasks in your head as they come up during the day. An incoming email will trigger the question, is this truly important or just urgent? A new project request will make you think, where does this fit in my long-term goals? The Eisenhower Matrix is more than just a time management hack. It's a decision-making framework that empowers you to live a more intentional and fulfilling life. It's about working smarter, not just harder, and making sure that your daily actions align with your deepest values and biggest goals. So give it a try. Take back control of your time and start focusing on what truly matters. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this helpful, give this video a like and subscribe for more tips on productivity and personal growth. Let me know in the comments how the Eisenhower Matrix works for you. See you in the next one.